Oh, fuck. To go pick up an American bully. Got some aggression issues. Honestly, it's been a few weeks since I've even talked to this guy on the phone, so I don't remember all of the details, but yeah, we'll find out. I guess I'm gonna get him brought inside and secured and maybe try to get him some water, and we'll see how it goes. Guys, this is by far the strongest dog I've ever worked with. If I try to open his crate door just a little bit, he literally just like shoves his giant head through and squeezes his way out. I'm gonna have to address this. I don't think any of the normal techniques that I would use are going to work with him. I have an idea for something new that I can try. I've never done it before. You guys are gonna see that unfold live action. But first, I'm gonna have to earn his trust a little bit, you know, get him a little bit more comfortable with me before I start getting like deep into back ties and crate work and all that stuff, because I really don't wanna get bit. So let's get into that first, and then later on, we'll get into the crate session. So I'm gonna call his training session right there, guys. We're still early on. This is day 2. I like to build them up a little bit. You don't wanna take a real crazy, big, potentially violent dog from their owner where they've never had any structure, any training, any rules, and immediately try to do like 30, 40-minute sessions with him. I'd rather bring him out once or twice a day, spend time with him, and do a little bit of training and start getting him used to the idea that like, hey, working with this guy over here is fun. It's something that I enjoy doing. How do we do more of that? And at that time, with his permission, if you will, I'm gonna start increasing the amount that we actually work together. And you guys are gonna see it firsthand. You're gonna watch him improve. We're still so early on. I am completely happy with the progress that we've made in just 2 days. I think at this point, I've developed a pretty good relationship with this dog, and I'm ready to start applying some pressure to fix this crate issue that you saw at the beginning of the video. I know I've kind of alluded to having a plan throughout, but I'm actually gonna tell you what that plan is now. So here's the deal. Up until this point, in order to get this rhinoceros in and out of the crate, I've had to basically trick him by taking a piece of food, tossing it in the crate, and slamming the door behind him. This is not a good long-term solution, and it also doesn't necessarily teach him the behavior that I want. Now, normally what I would do is I would just loop a slip lead or a long line through the back of the crate and give it a slight tug and pay the dog whenever they go into the crate. And I would do it right there in the kennels. That's not really gonna be possible for him just because of how strong he is. So I've developed a different solution, something that I've never done before. And basically what I'm gonna do is I'm still gonna run that long line through the back of the crate, but instead of pulling it by hand, I'm gonna attach it to a fence post. So instead of pulling the leash, I can pull the crate towards me to give him the amount of slack needed. This frees up both of my hands to manage this dog. He's pretty unmanageable, so I definitely need it. And after I get him going into the crate on his own, I can turn around and use this exact same setup to prevent him from busting out of the crate whenever I open and close the door. Now, the problem with big, elaborate setups like this is all this extra stuff has to be faded out in order for it to be generalized into everyday life. So the first thing I'm gonna try to fade out is that long line coming through the back of the crate. I wanna get to the point where I can just use my regular leash and prong and guide him into the crate as quickly as possible. Now, this session definitely ran pretty long, but I think it was necessary because when I have this big of a setup, I wanna start fading that stuff as quickly as possible, and I wanna get to the next step before I start losing momentum. Good. 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 Yes. There you have it, guys. The very first phase of Apollo's training is complete. Look, the crate is the most basic form of discipline that any dog can have. In order for me to even begin thinking about doing obedience work or leash work or any of that stuff, I have to be able to take the dog in and out of the crate safely. What we did over the last few days here, we safely transported the dog home. I earned his trust. I established some good manners taking food from my hand. And then we solved that crate training problem with a brand new session that I have never done before, invented it right here on the spot. If someone else has done this before, let me know in the comments, but I think I'm the inventor. Who knows? On the next video, we're gonna actually be getting into Apollo's obedience training. We're gonna be starting heel, sit, down, stay, place, and recall. All of those things have to be done before he goes home. So everything to this point was just getting so that I can actually start training him. Stay tuned for that. I'll see you on the next one.